everybody. Welcome back to the One Step Better Business podcast with Mike and with Matt. Hopefully you all are having a great day. Today's topic,
fun one.
It's going to get off the rails.
Let's do it.
Because we are going to be talking about some of the things that we're working on from the perspective of AI. Hot topic. Buzzwords all over the place. We're going to try to boil it down, talk through some of the things the way that we think about it, some of the things that we're actually doing. Hopefully you'll be able to get some tips and tricks along the way. If nothing else, you'll be able to watch another podcast on accounting firm AI stuff.
Yeah. And also maybe not what not to do.
What not to do. Oh, let's start with what not to do.
Okay, I got a list.
All right. Here's a fun story. You guys will appreciate this. If anybody knows Matt, they know that Matt is a pretty high quick start in Colby language. Essentially what that means is Matt likes to start something before he actually knows what he's even working on or what he's supposed to be working on or what
I have an
even the thing
idea
does.
what I'm going to do, maybe, kind of, sort of.
It's very much
let's fly the plane and build the plane at the same time. Yep.
So the tools today are crazy powerful. We're able to connect our Claude instance and our Count instance and our HubSpot instance and our iSolved instance and all the things, our major tools that we use. Well, one of the things that bit us in the butt a little bit is whenever we start to have an AI agent go into HubSpot and start changing ticket categories. And so,
I mean, did it break?
One day we get to the office and next thing you know, Slack starts to blow up with people, our payroll team saying, why are all these tickets closed?
All tickets are closed.
And it turns out sometimes the AI people, not going to name any names, maybe
they went rogue.
Maybe decided to go do its own thing. So that's some of the fears that come with AI in a lot of ways.
Just a little rogue.
So we have the terror stories as well.
I got a couple. I got a list now. I've started to accumulate. I got one now in marketing. I got one in HubSpot. I got accounting stuff. We blew up a broker website. Yeah. Lessons learned. Got to be very explicit. Well, not learned.
We hope so.
I guess lessons understood is probably better. Probably not learned.
Lessons experienced.
Yeah, experience. You have to be very explicit about what you think is supposed to happen and the stopping points by which you want to work. That was an interesting one for us. The scenario was, hey, HubSpot, we have a lot of tickets. I was working in Claude. I'd like to get a better handle on how can we do a better job of analyzing our tickets, getting our tickets into categories so we can make sure that we're able to have better conversation with our clients. Give me a category listing. And it did. It does a great job at that.
It did that.
And it said, you have 250 tickets that I think are spam and they're now closed.
They're like,
cool. Okay.
They're probably spam.
They're not spam. And I didn't want it to close it, but it had already closed it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, luckily our team caught it first thing and 30 minutes later, they got them all back. But it did just a little bit of, oh crap, what would happen if that was something actually important? Like crap, all the tickets are deleted or not. Anyway, but yeah, it wasn't as explicit about the rights that we gave it. That was the thing. So I want to start with what are we doing? Like what have we turned on at this point? Mm-hmm. So at our firm, we've had it.
Before we start there, I'll tell you what, let's start a little bit before that. Let's start with what do we believe about AI and the role of AI in today's accounting firm?
It is I have a bifurcated plan, a little bit of how this works for an accounting firm today. I think AI is the ability for me to accelerate the ability for me to do work today. It's not autonomous. It's not without flaws. I'm looking at how can I embed AI or automation into my processes to accelerate the work I'm doing. That is different than my, maybe the ultimate goal would be, how do I have AI doing the work with humans or our team, reviewing QC, make sure this and monitoring the systems. And that's kind of where I'm starting with today.
You see it today as an efficiency gain.
Correct.
So it's able to create capacity for our team to do other things or maybe even more of the same things.
Correct. And I think that is probably not far of how most firms think of it today, because it's how would I do this thing? How do I create a new job? You even go back to the basics of I can use this chat function to brainstorm faster or create ideas faster, or to even write this article for me, or review my process that I'm doing today, or analyze the financial statements and data to help me accelerate the deliverable in a faster way to my client. That is something that I think a lot of firms are probably already doing, and we are doing those same things as well. The thing that AI also allows us to do is, I think today, connect tools that we've never had the ability easily to connect in ways that opens up a little bit of a Pandora's box of, okay, if I can connect my CRM and my practice management software and my tax software and my payroll software and these other 15 tools I use, now what can I do with that data that I wasn't able to do before? Today's sponsor is Cloud Accountant Staffing. Every firm owner I talk to is asking the same question right now. Should we hire offshore? I'll tell you what we're doing about it. We've hired offshore before, and we're actively working with Cloud Accountant Staffing right now on a couple of roles at Patrick Accounting. The reason we pick them, they take the fear out of it. Disclosure, security, onboarding someone across the world. They've walked tons of firms through it. Their portal is really easy to use. It lets you browse real candidates that are available to hire right now, book interviews yourself. You can have them vet them for you. They help you with the whole process. So head to cloudaccountantstaffing.com right now. Links in the show notes. You know, the ability for us to build our own tools that are custom for either that client or that group of clients or this specific use case was not something that we had the skill set as accountants to do before, and now we do. But that also comes at a challenge of, should I be connecting all this stuff? Yeah. And what if I did connect it? And who has the ability to connect stuff? And if I do connect it, what do they have the ability to do now that I didn't know they didn't know? And so that's kind of where we are at, I think, from the firm journey today is, okay, we've basically gone, we need to get people exposed to what's possible as part of our training conversation we had last week, which was like, we're struggling with this is how do I get my team exposed to what they could do? How do I regulate it? How do I make sure we're securing it? But also making sure we're going, okay, what are our use cases that are going to drive either compression of work, efficiencies, or building the long-term system that may be different than we're running today?
Would you say your own personal journey with this stuff is still in the experimental stage?
Yes. Yeah. I think my own personal journey today is, oh my God, I'm blown away by what may be possible that I didn't really even realize. And every time I get really deep into it, I go, oh, I'm still thinking this at like an elementary level. And I've had that happen a couple different times. You know, we went from our firm was using GPT, you know, we made custom GPTs that we had embedded in certain spots of our workflow. And we kind of thought and we said that these were assistants for you in your role. You could have a writing assistant, or you have a review assistant, or you have a delivery assistant, or, you know, whatever the assistants we wanted to create were. And they were think of it as like an intern helping you on your team. Well, then you go to Claude, you know, in the last 4 or 5 months, as we've kind of embraced Claude, I think the world has embraced Claude. It turned into, wait, I can have it do things for me in a systematized way to accelerate. So now we've built some, you know, occurrences of like, okay, before I have every meeting, send me a summary of all my meeting notes with that client over the last 15 meetings. Or, hey, we have an onboarding meeting. Make sure that the notes from the discovery meeting and the onboarding stuff has all been analyzed. I can look at that, make sure everything's good. Tell me if I need to flag that. So we've set up some routines, you know, inside of Claude to make that happen. Or, hey, we have this data from our social tools and our HubSpot and actual sales history. Give me the data in a recurring way of what our effectiveness has been on our sales and marketing efforts. We can do that thing today because we have data connected. But I still think there's like multiple levels of this that we just haven't gotten to yet.
I think that it's interesting because you started it kind of through the lens of when everything is connected, then you get to brainstorm and kind of dream a little bit about what do I want to do with the data? Like, how do I want to use that data? How can I cross-reference and how can it help me? I think about today's tools a little bit differently in that I don't care so much about the data piece of that. I care more about what can I get the tool to do that a human being would have been doing? Like, how do I get it to do the work piece of that?
For sure. And that's why I think about the compression of work.
Yeah. And that side is so very different today than it was a year ago. And what is available
3 months ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing that I keep hearing, you know, the thing that kind of always blows my mind is today is the worst that AI will ever be again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, think about where ChatGPT was a year ago and then where we are today. Think about what it was 2 years ago. And it's like, oh my God, like what I'm able to do today is so much different. So we have a couple tools that we've kind of really embraced here in the firm. You know, we've embraced Claude and Claude Cowork, guiding a subscription for everybody here in the office. We've gone through a process where we're doing a bi-weekly AI happy hour. We kind of have a big kind of agenda of that 6 weeks is exposure, experimentation, come up with some use cases, have some final products around the idea of going, now I know who likes to experiment and start thinking about this stuff. And now I have to create a system by which we're going to keep doing that. And that's kind of the goal of that. But I needed to get everybody exposed to the tool set. And then we had to get everybody exposed to what's even possible and okay, what's not possible and what are your parameters and what's not your parameters. And what's really interesting is every person in our office is coming up with really cool ideas, something I would never have thought of because they're in the seat doing the thing. But that also comes with, well, I don't really want you to have access to that tool because if you have that tool, that means you have this thing over here. And I'm not so sure that I should be turning that on yet. And when they're asking questions like, hey, can I connect my email to this? And if that's the case, can I have it give me a draft into my inbox and everything? And the next one from there is, can I just have it send it? Well, no, I don't really want you just to send it. I need you to put a human touch on that.
Yeah.
But if it's a payroll reminder that your payrolls due,
sure, why not?
Why wouldn't I want you just to send that? So like, that's kind of where we're trying to learn.
I think that's the elementary stage of all of this, where we're trying to figure out where our own guardrails are with that kind of stuff. Because there's, you've heard people say that, AI is not going to replace humans. And you've heard people say that AI absolutely will replace humans. I tend to be more on the latter side of that. But
the work that we do is going to be different because humans are going to have something else to do.
Potentially.
Yeah, maybe.
Or some of the stuff that you hear out there now is let's just get to a universal income because the AI bots are going to do all the stuff, produce all the goods, so anyway, not getting into that stuff.
That's political. This is not a political podcast.
That's not political. It's just
like
futuristic, crazy stuff, right? But I do think that AI absolutely will replace humans on some level. The thing that as humans we have to figure out is what is our comfortability level with the AI stuff taking over. So even that example of, hey, I want you to draft an email. Well, I don't want you to send the email without me looking at it. I can definitely envision a day where AI has drafted enough emails to where it's like, I don't ever make a change anymore. I don't need to look at it.
Correct.
Because I now trust that now we're not there yet. I think everybody recognizes that, but it's easy to see how we get there from where we're at.
Yeah. And we start talking about this, like so let's take the use case of our month. This is accounting podcast, monthly accounting process.
I'll give you a use case that this is a real life thing. At the end of every month, I pull a report out of our payroll system to determine both revenue share for partners and billing for other partners, just a variety of administrative tasks. I am skeptical by nature. And so I was like, all right, cool. We're going to build the bot to do this for me. And my expectation was, all right, I'm going to have to throw the stuff through the bot and it's going to spit out something that's going to be 80%. It's going to be close enough. And then I'm going to have to adjust and give new direction, all the kind of stuff. And so I did all the work manually. And I have my control, built the bot, threw it in the bot, and it was 100% perfect. And that's the moment for me. This happened a couple months ago. This is the moment for me. It was like, wait a second.
I'm not thinking big enough.
I'm not. Yeah. It got, and it's not to say that it's always 100% perfect because it's not, but the tool sets that exist today are not the same as what was true 6 months ago.
Correct.
And that was, that's the moment. It's like, well, okay, now it was able to do the work. What's my next step of that work? It's going to be drafting emails. It's going to be creating invoices. It's going to be creating payments, all that kind of stuff.
And I immediately, when you started saying that, I was wondering, did you have it create the bill?
We already have the connectors.
It's already connected.
And so it's like,
did it create the revenue payment I have to make? Like,
yeah, all that stuff is like,
blessed.
Well, if it did that consistently over a few months with 100% accuracy, I can easily envision myself getting to the point where it happens. I don't even think about it.
Correct.
It just happens.
Correct.
That's the scary stuff on how will AI replace humans, because if you get enough of that working,
what's left?
What do I do? What do I do?
Kind of like me anyway. I already know what I'm always already not sure what I'm supposed to be doing anyway. So it's good.
Right.
I think the same thing. So like, I think through like our onboarding, our monthly accounting process, which is probably the one we do on the accounting side most frequently. All right. I think through that and going, okay, so today we pull bank statements. We have a human doing that. We have Sherry in our office. She's great. She does a great job. She has a lot of other things she does besides that, but maintaining tokens and maintaining logins, and every bank's different. And there's still a bottleneck a little bit just because there's a bunch of banks and they'll have statements due on the first, it's kind of what happens. Well, could I get a bot to pull a bank statement or keep up with the reports of this one? These banks are available from email and these banks are available right inside of QuickBooks. And this is ones we have to go create a special API for. Like, that's kind of interesting. Okay. So now we get to prep. All right. We have rules engines that we're working on right now. It's one of the things, one of our big projects we're working on is a rules engine. Well, if the rules engine is being done and we're monitoring the rules engine and the transactions are being coded pretty consistently, at what point do we say, yep, they're good, keep going?
I'm only monitoring by exception at that
And
point.
then you get to review. Okay, we're doing our quality control review, and the quality control review gives me the points every single time that are exactly right, and it knows how to fix them. Do I need somebody reviewing the review, or no? And then you go to okay, now what's the analysis I want to actually provide to the client? Hey, I noticed that your supplier costs have gone up 45% because AI is looking at it. Could it give that information to my client? That's the proactive outreach I want to do.
And it's going to be able to do that at a vendor level, like a lot more granular level than what we would ever look at as humans.
Hey, your financial statement, that's always up to date now because the data is always in real time.
Yeah.
There's no financial delivery. There's a dashboard, or is it a different mechanism of delivery that's even better than a dashboard? Because I'm in my mind, if I'm the owner and I'm going, I want to know it when I want to know it, how I want to know it.
And I need to be alerted proactively if something's broken.
Correct. I don't need to wait on, oh, here's a financial statement. And when you have questions, give me a call. No, this is already a problem. I want you to know about it.
Yeah.
Is that really the right answer? And you start, well, your tax projection. Hey, I saw that you're supposed to make your estimated payment. You didn't make it. I see you have this money over here. Do you need us to move it for you?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff starts to be like, it's not outside of the idea that it could happen.
Yep. All right. So let's talk for a second then, because I agree with all of that. And I think that most forward-thinking accountants probably can get behind a vision in the future of what that looks like. And I think we would be the first to say that it doesn't exist today.
No, it doesn't exist today, but I don't think it's far off.
But that vision is definitely there. So let's talk through how, even in today's tool sets, how, if you were to build that entire model today, a little bit in theory, how would you do that from a tool set standpoint?
That's a good question. I start thinking through, well, we kind of been doing that a little bit. One of the things we've been doing with we use Opser was one of our vendors. They've been awesome. We've talked to a couple different firms helping us kind of thinking through the strategy here. And they always start in the same thing. Walk me through your existing process today. And I always go, dang, I don't want to walk you through my process again. But I also go, that's the only way they're going to know where the possibilities are lying. So I kind of have to do it to kind of explain what we're doing. And they always say, well, here's an opportunity. And so what's that skill set? So let's say I'll use the bank statement one. That's kind of one I think of, right? That I think is a one that is a huge win that we're actually currently trying to figure out. It's okay. We know we have 450 accounts. So let's say they have an average of 4 bank accounts a client. That's somewhere around 3,500 bank accounts a month that we are pulling down. You got to figure loans and auto loans, the lines of credit, and even a point of sale report. In theory, they're all the same. We have to go we take the responsibility of getting the data.
Yeah. There's something we got to go get.
Okay, what is my ability to connect to the banks? What's my security risk of getting that? But if I have the ability for, let's say it's called Cowork, I'll use that as the tool set today to secure those credentials so that I can go, it knows which bank to go to. It already has built a skill for, I'm going to pull Bank of America bank statements with this code session that I've given authorization to, and I've secured it. It can go online and put it into a folder in my system. Our SharePoint is connected. I could use a third party like a Plaid. I'd have to get a connector to get to as many data points as I could. But now that that's there, that means I have the transaction level data. I already have the bank connected at QuickBooks. We already have access to the QuickBooks API. We're part of that, the API and the SDK they have. So I have the transaction level data. So now I've gotten data source. I can rec. So I'm literally going step by step, going, what are my connectors to make that happen? Okay, what's our challenge with how we code things today, or how we get information from a client? So we use rules in QuickBooks. What is that problem we run into? Well, how many does it get right 100% of the time, and how many are exceptions that we have to make sure we identify? Okay, how can it learn about the exception so it doesn't have that exception the next time? It can automatically know, like, hey, I see you bought a car. I need the statement from you purchase of the car. I see you bought a car. Hey, Mr. Klein, I need a car. If the AI can recognize we bought a car, give me the statement of the car, I no longer have an exception. It can read the statement. Yep. So like I can start to take the process out of the limit, but just step by step by step is how I think about it. Now, so we talk about this, and I've got this from a conference I went to. It's called Making Big Happen. It was really good, but it was like right now, today's world, we really should be driving AI in 3 main lanes. It's, can it generate more revenue for the firm? Can it increase our margins, which in my mind, our margins are based off either technology cost or labor cost. So can we get more work done with the same amount of people is how I think of it today. And, or does it change the client experience? And everything we find is pretty easy to jump into one of those 3 buckets. That's the hard part. It's all of them. like, hey, my ability to do more work for you allows me to get you that to you faster. That's a better client experience. Hey, this thing allows me to handle more work with the same number of people. Great. That's a margin thing. So like, where do you start? Like, how do you prioritize? How do you make sure that you have all this kind of, we have, we probably in our firm today, we probably have 40 or 50 projects going on, all at different stages. Some people are just learning how to dabble. Some people are like, I've got this big thing going on. And we have some major ones that we're kind of prioritizing. I know like our friends at Anomaly, they have basically a cadence going. We'd like to publish at least one new agent a month. Like that is a thing we are working on. And I'm like, that's scary good and also scary. So, so like, that's where I'm at right now going, how do I, as a leader, get our team on board and also them not having the fear of, I'm going to lose my job. Like, no, I really don't plan on you losing your job. Your job may change and you may not be suited for the new job I need to have, but my head count in this office is probably going up, not down. Because I'm going to be able to do a lot more with the same number of people.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting because it will change the type of people that you have to hire that are going to be a little bit more tech forward.
Thinking in terms of systems, thinking more in terms of systems and like, how do I use this hammer instead of how am I the hammer? Yeah.
It's a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of people that struggle with, what is the right tools to use? What is the right use cases that I should be applying this? Still a lot of hesitancy on the privacy piece of it and the disclosure piece and how the client's going to interact or how are they going to respond?
I want to be fully transparent with our clients about it, but I also want to continue to maintain the value that I have. I'm fearful of them from a fee standpoint. Hey, we get, if our average client's paying us $1,500 a month, like, yeah, that's great. I can get AI to do that and give me everything you're doing for $50. What's the value of the asset that I have? What's the value of the services we're providing? So we have to keep evolving our service model to drive the value to justify what the clients are paying us for. And if they're not getting what they want, they shouldn't be paying us. And that's how it works. And that's hard to balance all those things out.
Yeah. Crazy time right now. A crazy world to be in.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of fun.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
I said this, AI is the modern equivalent of an adult video game. When I am in Claude Code or I'm working on something, I think of it like back in the day when I'm trying to get to the next level of Donkey Kong or Zelda or, Lego Batman or whatever it was you've played, any kind of strategy game, like, ooh, I've solved this problem. Now it's the next one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at.
I feel like gamification.
Now, also, I feel like they're charging me, like I keep having to put quarters in the machine to keep working. So that's also probably why it makes me feel like a video game.
Yeah. It's a little bit like a drug that you can't kick.
And it's also super fun. Like, it's like, I didn't realize I could do that. Oh, crap. To me, I could do this. It's just like a never ending puzzle.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. All right. AI. There's a ton of stuff that we could be talking about here. Hopefully that kind of gives you a little bit of an insight into how we think about it, how we're working on it.
It's probably all wrong because it's going to change tomorrow.
It's going to change tomorrow. It absolutely is going to change tomorrow. Somebody's going to come out with a new thing.
Claudette's coming out, right?
Yeah. You got
Mythos is coming in.
You really have to avoid shiny object syndrome on this one because it's really tough.
As a 9 quick start, as you said, it's really hard.
Yeah. Notice that Matt said that his first thought for our team was, I'm going to give you all access so that y'all could start to figure it out exactly how he would like to be treated. I think that's interesting. So.
Of course. I can't train you until I know how to do it.
That's right. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys listening. If you have any secrets or tricks on all things AI that you want to share, we would love to hear about it.
Don't give us too many ideas because I don't need them anymore. But
don't send them to Matt. Just
send to Mike. Send to Mike.
Yeah, don't send them to Matt. So yeah, thanks everybody. Y'all have a great day.